Hi guys, it's Anthony. I'm back once again with a new video. If you're liking all the content so far, by liking and subscribing, that way you'll be kept up to date with everything that's going on in the North American Rugby League, the RFL, NRL, and also bits and pieces of International Rugby League. So, like and subscribe, and I'll be back for you in a few moments. So the reason for the video today is that there has been a statement from the USARL, the USA Rugby League, and also the US Association of Rugby League Inc., which they proudly sport at both LLCs. So I think this is coming from the southern formation of the North American Rugby League, and it goes on to say the USA Association of Rugby League is the national governing body. Is the national governing body and International Rugby League member. The USA Rugby League LLC is a member of the USARL Inc. and have a united focus to conduct and develop rugby league both domestically in the US and also internationally. Both the Inc. and the LLC have worked together over the past 10 years to ensure the well-being of its member clubs, coaching staff, players and match officials. Seems like a few people are jumping ship to the North American Rugby League, and the USARL are not best pleased about it. That's my own viewpoints at this point. I could be completely wrong, but I will caveat that statement a little bit further on with a positive statement about another rugby league foundation, which they don't seem to have any issue with. Anyway, the USARL Inc., as the NGB, administers and sanctions rugby league in the USA and organises the Hawks national team, while the USARL LLC administers the national competition and, along with the Incorporated, sanctions, develops and executes the domestic game at all levels. The NGB is recognised by the International Rugby League. NGB is the national governing body, as I mentioned earlier. While the USAR is recognised by the International Rugby League, European Rugby League (ERL), and conducts rugby league activities under their governance. The IRL has global property rights, whereby appointed member regions and nations uphold requirements in order to conduct rugby league activities, inclusive of a reporting participation levels of registered competitions and players, satisfactory insurance for the safety of players and staff and spectators, statistics and financial results leading to transparency of the national operating model. That last statement has actually got me, because I don't know if any of the USARL teams or the USARL or its governing body have actually released any financial records with their operating costs and insurance and things like that, because it's been mostly run as an amateur level sport. That's my understanding of it at this point. I could be completely wrong, and USARL, I do hope that you have a caveat to respond to this, because it is better for me to learn a bit more information about you guys, and I hope you don't begrudge the North American Rugby League, to be fair, because it could be a way that both could be very, very successful if they both coincide with each other. Anyway, I'll go back to the statement. Failures for such entities to meet these requirements may result in participating nations and their players being considered ineligible for international duties. We encourage all registered and participating players to seek confirmation with their associated club administrators and officials that they and their club are in compliance. So they're saying we've jumped through all these hoops. We've got you to jump through all these hoops. We're hoping that the new league are doing the exact same thing. It's for your well-being, and we want you to be recognised through the USARL, so that we can consider you for internationals and such. Seems a bit fair. Seems fair. The USARL is currently working on the continuation of the domestic national competition scheduled for 2021 and is calling for registration of players in the same way as they have done for the past 10 years. So they're saying the USARL LLC's national champion will be crowned on August 28th. The LLC's not needed in that bit, I reckon. I'm just having a bit. It's nothing against the actual statement. I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure of the health and safety of the actual players. They're all registered so that they can know who's playing rugby league for one. Anyway, back to the statement. While the efforts to be establish a professional rugby league competition is in the US are admirable and encouraged, the recent announcement of the NARL remains an unsanctioned competition in the US at this time. Alongside our common goal to develop and expose the game in the USA, the Inc. and LLC's critical focus is to ensure player safety, protection, sustainability and a pathway to the international player eligibility. Again, I think it's more they want registration fees to make sure that you understand we're the bosses, we're the governing body. If you want to play for America in the national level, go to World Cups and things like that, we hold the keys to that if you're an American player. Don't see how this, unless they're actually partnering with them, would have come out if the Canadian startup, which is in its infancy at this point, were going to be full-time as part-time, full-time paid players as well. They would have American players coming up there as well as the Canadians. But USARL wouldn't have brought this out because it's Canadian. It's because there's another competition coming out. But saying again, they didn't do that for the Californian Rugby League over in the West. I know their form of the game is a lot more compact and shorter. And more aggressive, to be fair, than rugby league as a whole. But don't USA Rugby League not want to expand in those sort of areas? Do they not want rugby league to succeed? And if these are coming in to actually force the issue of professional paid players, or paid players at least, shouldn't they be working with the North American Rugby League as a tournament? Because they might end up being more competitive with these players that are coming down. They may not need some tune-up work. For instance, say Atlanta did both leagues now. North American Rugby League for their established, well-paid players, and the people that need tuning up going into the B-side, which plays in the USARL. I'm not saying it's a direct B-side, or it might be a same level side. It goes into the USARL. It'll improve their competition because it will see the other teams will need to do this to improve. Might bring more finances into that league as well. Or they might be able to merge and bring teams from all over and have a bigger competition, because there's 6 teams in the Western Conference. They're going to need a couple more in their conference because of the 8 that are going to be in the Eastern, with the Canadians joining in 2022. These are just my thoughts. It's not a direct bashing, or it's not a praising. It's just my impressions that have come from it. I do hope that they come together, because a stronger unity between the two would mean maybe a two-tier system, but it's scope for expansion. The USARL will still be around, and the North American RL can say there's some good quality players through there. Why don't we pay them to play for us? And if they want, when there's no games for us, they can go play for them. Dual registration players. It develops the quality, tunes them up a little, but they all need to get round the table to actually work on their relationships and iron out these details. USARL cannot come to it asking, demanding money though. They have to come to it realising what their status is. They've been seen as a decade-long amateur level tournament. It's not a knock. It's how players start to develop if they're given the right coaching and also see that there is a structure to get paid for playing this sport. Never know, one of these teams might develop the next world star. But there has to be some give, take, and some joint effort to make both successful and rise up above any grievances that either may have. I don't think North America Rugby League has any at this point. Anyway, that's my two penneth. It may mean nothing, but I do hope the guys get around the table so that they can talk about it a bit more. So going back to what I said about the unsanctioned sides, and one of those being California Rugby League, back in the 13th of April, they actually put a statement out on their social media. This week, 3 players have been scouted and moved to paid contracts in the States. Love to see hidden talent get noticed. That's why we do what we do. Hashtag grow the game. And that is what I want to see. These rugby league players have been playing that form of rugby league in California, LA Mongrels, anywhere that plays on the West Coast. That's that form of rugby league, as aggressive, basic, improving, hard-hitting, good tackling players. And it's good that they're welcoming these players to move to the North American Rugby League, because it shows them being flexible, because in the future they may get players sent to them for more tune-up from the North American Rugby League, so they're getting paid players from the other side playing for them, which means that they're going to get coaching off the great coaching that are developing the players down in California, LA Mongrels and places like that. And then they might end up saying, well, they've helped me massively, and that coach, that referee was great, that player needs to be looked at. And more of these people cross over clubs. Eventually may come with a fee which for trades, which is only beneficial for that form of the rugby league to grow. It shows the work that are going on down in the places like California, LA Mongrels, all the other clubs. If their players are being touted as good enough to play in a paid league, that they're making and tuning these players to be tough, for one, because you've seen the hard hits recently and the marauding runs. There was one that I'm seeing on Twitter at the moment where the guy's busted through 2 and he's still busting through 2 and he's been pulled back and still gets over the line. Yes, he may have been the biggest leg on the pitch, but he had that will and determination, and that's not just ingrained, that's coached as well. You need to get this, you need to run this angle. The fine-tuning. That's what both sides need to do. If they need defensive work for the West Coast Conference in the North American Rugby League could run with the Californian sides, so that they can get tough. They can get the defensive tunes right. They may be attacking stars, but need to work on the defense. Those boys down in California and LA Mongrels will make them defend. They'll have to, because it's a tough sport, and if they want to be successful, defence is always the key. And in rugby league, you do both. If you've not been told that enough, you do both. Some players may be protected, but they're expected to get involved in the tackle if it's in their area. Now, I do want to shout out to the LA Mongrels and the California Rugby League, because they have been going a few years now, and they have got the people playing rugby league and interested in rugby league. They've got crowds there. They've got people outside the fence looking in. You can see it in the video on the top left hand corner when the boys put the ball down. It's a game which Americans should take to. It just needs eyes and you guys to share everywhere. All the bits of information. That may reach 100 people, but it may take that one, and that one could end up playing. And then they get 4. Their family might go and watch them. Then the kids want to run about with a rugby ball, kick, pass, do everything. American football, you're going to be either a catcher to score, or a thrower, or a handoff, or you might kick, you might just tackle, you may get concussions. But there's an opportunity for every single one of the rugby league players to do all of those roles. Well, hopefully less so on the concussion side. Don't get me wrong, they still get them, because it's a full contact sport. Guys, still need you to share these videos. Need you all to subscribe, all you that have been watching, and I thank you very much for watching, because the race to 100 only completes when we reach that 100. You may be the first to have subscribed, you might be the 100th. You would be in a draw for our merchandise. It's been all over Twitter from my side, and I've been asking for people to share so that you guys can get involved. Race to 100. Race to 100. Get me to 100 subscribers so you can get some free merch. You're not expected to pay anything. I will not pay for delivery charges. You could be in the middle of the Sahara. You could be up Kilimanjaro. You could be on Alice Rock. You could be in Yellowstone. And I'll post it. So, grow rugby league. Race to 100. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.